Call the City of Muskegon City Commission meeting for April 26th to order. I'd like to welcome Pastor Tim Cross from the Living Word Church to lead us in prayer to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor.
Would you bow your heads with me, please? Father, you said in your word that the earth is yours and the fullness thereof. So, Father, we declare that Muskegon is yours. Father, you said in your word as well, unless the Lord guard the city, the watchmen watch in vain. We ask, O Lord, that you would guard and protect our city. Father, I ask particularly you'd guard our police officers. Father, as I was reminded in my hometown of a police officer killed this past week, we ask for your protection over our police officers, especially as we enter into this warmer weather. Father, you said in your word that by virtue of the blessing of the upright, a city would be exalted. Father, we ask you to bless the upright in this city. Bless those that honor and fear you and those that have a respect for you. We ask that you bless them, you bless their businesses. And Father, I pray, you said that a city divided against itself shall not stand. Father, I pray that you would deliver us from division and strife and just backbiting and fighting. And Father, I pray in Jesus' name that there would be a harmony that would come to our city and a harmony among our people. That, Father God, that we wouldn't be divided against one another, but that we would be working together. You said in your word that a people united, anything they could imagine would be possible to them. Father, I pray that you would give us a spirit of unity in our city. And Father, lastly, I pray in Jesus' name that you would turn the hearts of the fathers in our area, in our region, back to the children and the children to the fathers. That's where a blessing comes. And Father, we pray that you would bless our city, bless the hearts of the fathers back towards their children, and bless this city commission as they meet today. Give them wisdom in the decisions that they have to make. Give them direction and a sense of your direction and purpose for this city. And we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. If I could ask everyone to please remain standing. Pastor Cross did mention the loss of life down in Kalamazoo. Public safety officer Eric Zapata passed away, actually was murdered a week ago last night. Today was the funeral. I happen to be fortunate enough to be able to take some time today to, although not be in Kalamazoo, to spend some time watching their ceremony, and it was quite a tribute, and it's a tribute to see public safety officers that stand together with one another. I know our city was well represented down there, and I want to thank our public safety officers for going down not only to represent themselves to a brother officer that was slain, but also to represent our city down there. And I would ask for us to take a moment of silence here, but I would ask the people of our community to remember that our police officers and firefighters are here to protect and to serve. And we need to remember that's their job. When they're finished with their work, they're just like the rest of us. They go home to a family and a home. And the next day they come back out, not knowing whether they'll be able to return to their family the next day. So I would ask each and every one of us, when you have the opportunity, when you see a police officer, when you see a firefighter, that you take the time to thank them for the service that they give to their community. Please bow your head for a moment. Thank you. May you rest in peace. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wisniewski?
Here.
Commissioner Carter?
Here.
Vice Mayor Gallron?
Here.
Commissioner Shepard? Here. Commissioner Spataro?
Here.
Mayor Warmington?
Here.
Commissioner Waringel? Here.
Thank you. May we have the consent agenda read, please?
Approval of minutes, City Clerk, summary request. To approve minutes of the April 11th Commission Work Session meeting and the April 12th City Commission meeting. Staff recommendation, approval of the minutes. Appointments to various boards and committees, City Clerk, summary request. To appoint Norm Cunningham to the Civil Service Board, Roger Brink to the Downtown Development Authority, and Joe Doyle to the Planning Commission. Staff recommendation, the Community Relations Committee recommended the appointments at their April 11th meeting. Special event request, Catamaran Racing Association of Michigan, Planning Economic Development. Summary request. The Catamaran Racing Association of Michigan is requesting permission to hold a catamaran sailing event at Pere Marquette Park on August 19th through the 21st of 2011. They would like to use the city-owned lot that is currently being leased by Captain Jack's for overnight camping on August 19th and 20th, 2011. There will be approximately 10 to 12 RVs in the lot overnight. This is the event's 4th year of operation, and they have provided proof of liability insurance. The owners of Captain Jack's, CJ's on the Beach, submitted a letter indicating their support of the event. Staff recommendation to approve the resolution allowing for overnight camping at Pere Marquette for this event on August 19th and 20th, 2011. Committee recommendation. This request was recommended for approval by the city's special event approval staff. Police vehicle purchase, Public Works. Summary request. Authorize staff to purchase 5 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor patrol cars from Great Lakes Ford. Staff recommendation, approval of the purchase from Great Lakes Ford. Consideration of bids for Getty Street reconstruction, Layton to Evanston Engineering. Summary request. Award the project to Jackson Murphy Contractors out of Muskegon, Michigan. They were the lowest responsible bidder with a bid price of $1,179,240.54. The award, if approved, must be contingent upon approval by MDOT since the project has state funding. Staff recommendation, award the contract to Jackson Murphy. City MDOT agreement for the reconstruction of Getty Street, Keating to Layton Engineering. Summary request. Approve the contract with MDOT for the reconstruction of Getty Street from Keating to Layton, and approve the resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to sign the contract. Staff recommendation, approve the contract and resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to sign both. Authorization to director and/or office manager, Public Works. Summary request. Authorize the director of Public Works and/or DPW's office manager to sign off on titles and registrations for newly acquired and/or sold vehicles by adopting the resolution. Staff recommendation, authorize the director and/or office manager by adopting the resolution.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the consent agenda read. Are there any items you'd like to have removed for further discussion? Mr. Carter?
Seeing none, move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Carter, supported by Commissioner Shepard to approve the consent agenda as read. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galrin?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Waringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Public hearings, item A, please.
Public hearing for 2011-2012 CDBG Home Grants, Community Neighborhood Services. Summary request to close the comment period and conduct a public hearing for the 2011-2012 CDBG Home Grants. Staff recommendation, complete the public hearing for the 2011-2012 CDBG Home Grants based on the Commission's preliminary recommendations.
Anita?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'd like to just start by saying that the hearing tonight is in lieu of getting any final recommendations. We are not going to do that tonight. We have received information that we're going to get much less than what we had expected, and so asking for final recommendations would just not make any sense at this point. So we are just getting comments for tonight. We have had a $600 million cut in CDBG and another $2 million in home. And so what we thought we were going to receive is completely false. So we're going to wait to ask the Commission for their final recommendation, but if you would hear the comments from the public, and that's based on your preliminary recommendations.
Thank you for that good news. Commissioner, do you have any questions of staff? Whether Mr. Bonner would like to address the Commission?
Good evening. My name is Dan Bonner, and I live at 1652 Nelson Street in the city of Muskegon, and am the managing attorney of Legal Aid of Western Michigan, where I have been working for 28 years. The The reason that I am here tonight is to request that the City Commission approve a recommendation by the Citizens District Council to legal aid of only $3,500. That amount would represent a 50% cut from the funding that we had received last year for the work that we do both in foreclosure intervention and prevention, as well as in addressing the evictions of tenants threatened with the loss of their homes, particularly from substandard dwellings in the city. I heard Ms. Bailey indicate that the Community Development Block Grant funding has been cut $600 million. I understand that in the past, in fact, last year, the Community Development Block Grant Fund to the city was approximately $1 million. I understand that may be reduced to about $800,000. Even with that significant cut, what legal aid is asking for represents only 0.04% of that amount of money to continue the work that we do on behalf of the lower income folks within the city of Muskegon. In fact, I did a Google search today of Muskegon, Michigan poverty rate data, and discovered that residents with income below the poverty level in the city of Muskegon in 2009, now this doesn't surprise me because I work in that every day, it's 33.6% of our citizens are at or below the federal poverty rate in the city of Muskegon. At Legal Aid, we provide to those citizens something that no other agency or entity in the city provides, and that's free lawyers to represent those people. The last year that I have statistics for our grant in reporting to the offices of Neighborhood Development and the Citizens District Council is that just for half of the year ending in May 31st of 2010, Legal Aid represented in eviction cases 409 City of Muskegon residents in 152 households. And in foreclosure cases, we did 13 cases. Of course, those are much more labor intensive, sometimes involving federal court intervention, for that. Now, in my last comment period just a few months ago, I mentioned to you an individual who wanted to stand with me next to me at the podium tonight. Her first name is Barbara. She lives on Roberts Street in Muskegon, north of Laketon and west of US 31. And as just one story, this is to save Barbara's home from foreclosure required 24.9 hours of work, and we document that with the computer system. At an average attorney fee rate for Muskegon of $200 an hour, that amount of service represents $4,850 worth of service to that one individual. And I'm happy to report that on March 1st of 2011, we did receive a letter from Chase Bank confirming that, in fact, her house was rescued from foreclosure and the mortgage was transferred into her name from her deceased husband's name. He had died of cancer in January of 2010. In fact, this is a list of, I won't repeat the dates, but 8 letters to Chase representatives in 7 different locations, including Texas, Manila, the Philippines, Phoenix, Arizona, Columbus, Ohio, and Dallas. And we were able to save her home. The attorney fees on that case alone would exceed the mere $3,500 that we're asking tonight. Now, no one comes to legal aid to get rich, working in our program. I had to lay off an attorney on January 1st. We're down to 3 lawyers for 3 counties. Our starting salary is $40,000 a year. At 2,080 hours of work a year, we're basically paying our lawyers who are coming out with sometimes 5 and 6-figure student loan incomes. We're paying them $19.23 an hour in an attorney market where the average rate is $200 an hour. What $3,500 would buy from the city of Muskegon from this grant would be 182 hours of legal aid attorney time, and would give me 9% of the funding I would need to hire a new lawyer. And it's with that, hopefully Barbara's story and these figures make our request perhaps a little bit more real. And we're just asking, again, if we can be funded at 50% of what we were last year so that we can continue the work that we do on behalf of our low-income people. Now, at this point in time, we're down to bare bones in terms of staff and time, and I want to conclude by saying that I give priority attention to people who come to us from areas and concerns of those who provide funding to provide the service. In fact, Mayor Warmington, I spoke with someone last week whom you had referred, and all she had to do was mention that Mayor Warmington referred her, and that person did not go through our statewide intake center. And we're happy to do that. And so, in closing, I would just like to say that I know a lot of this money goes to siding people's homes in the city of Muskegon. I'm just asking for $3,500 to keep saving people's homes in the city of Muskegon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
Mr. Mayor? I do think we need a clarification on that. Home funds are used for home improvement projects like siding a person's house. Community development block grant funds are what was talked about here. So that's not money that's transferable. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would care to address the public hearing on CDBG? Please step forward. Good evening. Need for you to give your name and address, please.
Danette Williams, 310 Iona, Muskegon.
Judy Smith, 2071 East Hile.
We are both managers at Sacred Sons on 289 East March. We're from Community and Compass. What we're requesting is the $3,500 that comes from the grant. And what I would like to address is the people that we serve at Sacred Sons. We serve the people that, for one, very low income, the working poor, people that are dealing with protective services for services of washing laundry, washing their clothes. Something so simple, so very basic, but so many people that do not have these facilities at home. We provide showers. People come in. People do not have, they're dirty. Their clothes are dirty. They need to be cleaned. These are basic, simple needs. And this is something that needs to be addressed. And that's why we really are hoping to receive these funds for Sacred.
And on top of the laundry and shower facilities that we provide. And thinking of laundry and shower, just remember the last time this area was without power and how you felt after a couple days without power. And you'll know how most of our clients feel most of the time. We just finished up tax season, and we provide free tax service to low-income people also. And this year alone, we helped bring back into Muskegon $280,000+ that came back, so people had some money to spend on their basic needs. You see people coming in, we have people coming in that are housed, quote unquote, in their cars. This is starting the season that they start tenting. They're in rescue mission. And we see these people daily, and it breaks our hearts. They have developed a sense of community at Sacred Suds.
The people that we also addressed are people from CMH, a lot of their clients, the caseworkers, they bring their people over to Sacred. These are people that are on limited incomes. These are people that are on disability, people with mental health issues. They can't afford the laundromats. They can't afford laundry plus the services, and also for showers. Some of the people that we also come to Sacred Suds are people dealing with protective services because of the fact that they just don't have the things to keep their kids' clothes clean. You know, we provide this service, and at a minimal cost of $1 a load. $1 a load. For $1, you're washing clothes, drying clothes, and we are providing the laundry detergent. You have people that don't have jobs that are coming from the rescue missions, or sleeping in their cars, or sleeping up under the bleachers at the baseball fields or the parks or whatever, and they're looking for jobs. And they're coming to Sacred Suds to take a shower. Just your name. There's no criteria. Just come in, give us your name, and you go and you take care of that function. These people are coming in looking like they've been run over, and they're coming out, and they're going to look for jobs and trying to get employment, which is something that is big here in Muskegon County, unemployment. We have people that have homes but can't afford, they water are turned off, so they come to Sacred Suds for a hot shower. You have them coming to bring in their children for a shower, but that is a basic need, and it's something that's a service that we do, and we're happy to do it.
Yes.
Happy to do it.
And we have some computers that they may use to look for housing, for jobs, for schooling, and they're at those computers all the time.
All the time. And we help these people. You know, we have people with limited education. We need help with doing their applications. Right now, helping a few people with work keys. They go on trying to get employment, but they can't pass the simple work keys test. You know, we sit there and we help them. We have volunteers, students from MCC, people from the neighborhood, just a lot of people coming in, just giving their time, want to give back. And that's what it's about. We have people that want to give back and they want to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would care to address the CDBG funding? Good evening.
Good evening, I'm Charlotte Johnson. My address is 219 Catherine. I live in the McLaughlin neighborhood, and I'm the coordinator for the McLaughlin Healthy Neighborhood Project, and I do receive the CDB grant funding, and I'm very appreciative of having that funding to help those in my neighborhood. I was reading an article in the Chronicle the other day. It was entitled, "Community More About People and Less About Place." And I do believe that it takes people that are willing to go into the community and invest in the community. And that's something that I do every day. I work within the McLaughlin neighborhood. I go door to door trying to encourage people to come out of their homes and work in our community gardens, or come and volunteer with the children at our neighborhood school, or to come out really it's all about building relationships and restoring hope within people that have lost hope. You know, it's bad when your hope is all gone and you need somebody to come to your door and just to inspire you and to encourage you and to lift you up. And so that's something that I'm able to do by going out into my neighborhood. I believe in asset-based community development. When I look at everybody in my neighborhood, sometimes people look at the people in the McLaughlin neighborhood since the inner city and think about the things that they don't have. But when I look at the people in my neighborhood, I see the gifts that everybody has. They all have gifts of the head, the hand, and of the heart. And it just takes people that have a caring spirit and a concerned heart to go out to them and to connect with them and to let them know that they have something within inside of themselves that they could use to help build our community. And that's what we do in the McLaughlin neighborhood. There are 3 foundations that make up asset-based community development. Those are gifts of individuals, gifts of associations, and gifts of institutions. And one of the roles of the institutions or the government of the city is to support the community agenda, to supplement community participation, and to incentivize change. And as I go into the neighborhood and I begin to tell people with the projects that we're having, I always let them know that this was funded through the city of Muskegon. This is a place that believes in taking the responsibility and the care and really feeling hope and encouragement for the people in our neighborhood. And I hope that's something that I don't have to stop saying. I really enjoy telling the people in our neighborhood that the city of Muskegon is concerned and they do care about the people that live in the neighborhood. I work diligently with every church in my neighborhood. Anything that's involved in the McLaughlin neighborhood, I'm there. Whether it's a church, whether it's a school, there are 9 churches. I attend every one of them. I've met the pastors. I'm getting the pastors to come out into the neighborhood. We only have one school, McLaughlin Elementary School. I'm there. I'm diligently working with those kids. As when you have a neighborhood that has poverty, I talked to you about a sense of hopelessness, and I don't want that to spread to the kids. So I'm there at the schools to try to encourage them as well. So the Healthy Neighborhood Project is an asset-based community development partnership. We seek to mobilize, identify, and equip neighbors to begin to grow and to sustain positive projects that strengthen community and build collaboration. And without the nonprofits and without the associations working diligently together, we would have a collapsed city. When I think about the city, I think about the neighborhoods as well. There's a saying that as goes the neighborhood, so goes the city. So it is very important for the city to continue to invest its CDBG grant money into communities, because if the communities don't stand, the city has no way of operating and staying intact as well. And I know these are hard economic times, and I know it's going to take a lot of guts to make the right decision. But I believe that you do care for the people in this community as well as I do. And we need each and every one of you to stand up with us. We can't make it without you, and you can't make it without us. And so I say that we should all work together. The McLaughlin neighborhood is a reflection on the city, and the city of Muskegon is a reflection on the McLaughlin neighborhood. And so I ask that you consider the devastating effects that the McLaughlin neighborhood would suffer by the removal of your CDBG grants, funding to our neighborhoods. The CDBG grant funds our community gardens, our 8-week summer camp, our community builders action group, work at McLaughlin Elementary School, the McLaughlin Neighborhood Mini Grant Program, my continued effort to go into the community to promote the residents to come out and make positive changes to the community. Our community cleanup projects, we're going to have a cleanup project this weekend where we're going to the neighbors and asking them to help us to clean up our city. We are trying to make a difference, and a new program that we're going to do this year is a summer reading program with the children in the McLaughlin neighborhood. So I do appreciate you guys listening to me, and I ask that you vote from the bottom of your heart and keep community as your goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Is there anyone else that would care to address this item? Next. Mr. Pasteur?
Good evening. I'm Tom Pastor. I live at 1291 Terrace Street in the city of Muskegon. Have lived there for 32 years, and I serve as the president of the McLaughlin Neighborhood Association. I sit on the Citizens District Council that wrestled with the fact that we had some financial challenges, and I simply come to you with the message I brought to you before. The first two words of this dollar amount is community development. And I'm afraid if this city chooses not to spend this money for community development, that we are making a terrible, terrible mistake. I know there are infrastructure needs. I know there are needs in many, many different areas. But as Ms. Johnson said, if you incentivize change here, we, together with you, have seen what just a little bit of money can do with our mini grant programs. We've seen neighbors come out. As Ms. Johnson said, we've seen the renewal of hope. And we're only asking you to remember, these are community development dollars, and we ask you to work with us to continue to develop community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Before we close the public hearing, I'd also like to acknowledge that Julie Kitchen, registered nurse, also sent a letter in support to Sacred Suds. She sits on their, she's a steering committee member. So that, and I believe all of the commissioners received a copy of that letter.
She's family.
Thanks for that. Is anyone else? Commissioner Spataro.
Perhaps we need a little bit of guidance from Anita. I mean, this is a public hearing, we can close it, but normally we would act on the recommendations, and we were asked not to do that. So should we just close the public hearing and then take no further action?
Just close the public hearing.
I would move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Spataro, supported by Vice Mayor Garland, to close the public hearing in regards to the 2011-2012 CDBG home grants. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Gowern?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Waringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wisniewski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. New business, item 8, please.
Application for special license, Liquor Control Commission, Public Safety. Summary request. The USS LST 393 Preservation Association has submitted an application for a special liquor license for beer, wine, and spirits for consumption on the premises for May 7, 2011. This license is for a fundraising event to watch the Kentucky Derby. The foundation meets all the requirements for the special liquor license, with the exception of the request for spirits. Commission policy dictates that any special license request, which includes spirits, must be considered and approved by the body. Staff recommendation, staff has no recommendation.
Good evening.
This is before you, as is stated, because it has a request for spirits. Our liquor license history that we have with this event, this is the third license that we have recorded for this event. One prior time, it only showed beer and wine, and then last year was beer, wine, and spirits. We've had no issues, any issues with this event since its inception on the LST, so.
Did you say that they've had an event that already had...
They've had one with spirits that we
with
missed
spirits.
again, yes. Yep.
Last year, was that?
It was last year, yes.
Is the applicant here?
Yes, Mr. Weichels here.
I know you're here, Dan, but I got some questions to ask if you could step up to the... And the chief. This event that you're having is for the LST?
It's a split proceeds between the youth programs of Rotary and the restoration of LST 393.
How many events do you anticipate that you would hold on the vessel this year that would involve alcohol?
This is the only one that we have scheduled that will involve alcohol. I'm not aware of any others, Mayor, that require that. Some may come and request it, and if they do, then we follow the procedure. But right now, it's the only one.
I didn't realize that we had done it once before, so as far as I'm concerned, that's sort of grandfather clause in to me if we've done it and we've allowed it. But otherwise, I would have been one, just so that you know, that probably would have voted no against it. And the reason why is because it's, in the past, this body has allowed liquor when it's been in a pre-mix versus being in a free pour. And I think the bulk of the reason is because of the training, or the lack of training, for people that are in a free pour situation to be serving people that may not be aware of what the pour is.
So everybody that we've had pour has been through the training program that the chief, I'm sure, can talk about, but all of them are trained.
Well, I could ask the chief about the training, but I think that the training more is into not over-serving.
Right.
Okay. Do you know, perhaps you could tell me, do you know what the pour is for a drink on board the LST? How many ounces?
Yeah, 1 ounce, a 1 ounce shot glass in a drink. That's what our bartenders or the people who are going to bartend have been told. It's not a pour it in a glass, fill it up, if that's what you're getting at.
Well, I'm asking how it works. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone make a motion? Mr. Carter?
Motion to approve the application for special liquor license for the LST.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Carter, supported by Commissioner Waringo, to approve the application for special license serving liquor for the USS LST 393 Preservation Association in partnership with the Rotary. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Shepherd?
Yes.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Waringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wisniewski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gallagher? Motion passes.
Thank you. Item B, please.
Third quarter 2010-2011 budget reforecast, finance, summary request. At this time, staff is transmitting the third quarter 2010-2011 budget reforecast, which outlines proposed changes to the original budget that have come about as a result of changes in policy, priorities, labor contracts, updated economic conditions, or other factors. Staff recommendation, approval.
At this time, this is the third quarter. We're 9 months through our new fiscal year. And there's been a few surprises, but pretty much we're on target. We expect to end the year with a fund balance that's about $2 million less than we started the year with, but that's more or less planned. You remember earlier in September, we designated a couple of payoffs for some debt and for MERS. So I think we're pretty much on target for this fiscal year. The real fun's going to begin next year because we are looking at some pretty scary things with the state revenue sharing. Property taxes are down, property tax appeals and other things. So I guess the best that could be said is that we're positioned fairly well going into a really rough year in fiscal year 2012. The only real surprise or thing I would point out is that our census has impacted our state revenue sharing, aside from what the governor's proposing to do to state revenue sharing, negatively, and there will be a retroactive adjustment which we'll have to take care of in the current fiscal year. Other than that, our income tax revenues are actually up for this year. We're actually able to project a little more than we budgeted at the second quarter reforecast. However, we are scaling that back again for 2012 because of the prison and some other factors. So it's income tax revenues are growing, and it's looking good, but we know that there are some things on the horizon that will impact us. So if you have any questions, but it's pretty much, it hasn't changed much in the last quarter.
Commissioner Spataro.
Thank you. I would move that we approve the third quarter 2010-2011 budget reforecast.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Spataro, supported by Commissioner Shepherd, to approve the third quarter 2010-2011 budget reforecast. Commissioner Spataro.
Thank you. I paid particular attention to your revenue forecast going forward. I got to tell you, I'm still a little disheartened by what we're seeing. Have we gotten any indication out of Lansing yet over, what it's going to take, what the actual formula is going to be to earn back the cut portion of revenue sharing?
We've seen what's proposed. I believe it, I don't know if it's been passed by the House yet or not, but the legislation's been drafted, and it does lay out somewhat specific items. And we're working on those. I think we'll fare pretty well. I hope. If you look at the benefit criteria they're using, they threw out their criteria like our health care has to be in line with what state employees pay, and we are. I checked those numbers. We are very much in line. We're actually lower than the state. Things like scaling back retirement benefits, moving to defined contribution. Again, we've done that. We did that 5-6 years ago. We are working on putting together a dashboard of indicators for the city that will be up on the website. It's pretty much ready to go, but we'll probably wait until we have numbers for fiscal year 2011, because the numbers get a little strange with our 6-month fiscal period. So we're going to probably wait till we have a full year before we make it public. And then the intergovernmental cooperation piece, which I think the whole area is, I think, a step ahead, because the chamber and the communities have started down that road with the study that's currently underway. So the three main criteria, I feel that we've done a lot of already, and I think we're in pretty decent shape. But at best cases, you can only claw back 2/3 of what you're losing. So
I guess let's put worst case is we lose 100% of the statutory.
Worst case is we lose $1.4 million.
And now, is that including the clawback because of the census numbers? Isn't that about another 100,000 or so?
No, we're going to lose that regardless.
Right.
Well, I should say that. We don't know what they're going to do, because we definitely have lost population, but if you look on a relative basis, we've lost less population than a lot of communities. So if the state factors in relative, we might not lose as much.
So if it's a best-case scenario, and we can get 2/3 of previous statutory revenue sharing restored, that's still a cut. What kind of number are we looking at there?
500,000.
Okay. So our best-case scenario is we're gonna lose about $500,000. Best case.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Mayor Warmington?
Yes.
Commissioner Waringo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wisniewski?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Golden?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item C, please.
Concurrence with the Housing Board of Appeals notice in order to demolish the following public safety. 28 Delaware has been removed per staff request. 299 Sumner, summary request. This is to request that the City Commission concur with the findings of the Housing Board of Appeals that the structure located at 299 Sumner is unsafe, substandard, a public nuisance, and that it be demolished within 30 days. It is further requested that administration be directed to obtain bids for the demolition of the structure, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized and directed to execute a contract for demolition with the lowest responsible bidder. Staff recommendation to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals decision to demolish.
Thank you. Commissioner Shepard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I would make the motion that we confer with the Housing Board of Appeals for 299 Sumner.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Shepard, supported by Commissioner Spataro, to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals notice in order to demolish 299 Sumner. Is there anyone here in the audience to speak on 299 Sumner?
Yes.
Okay. Now would be the time to step forward. I need for you to give your name and address, please.
My name is Teresa Smith. My address is 447 Adams. I have possession of the property. I was inherited the property through my family. The property was originally my grandmother's property. I'm currently doing a reverse mortgage with my mom. I do have contractors right now, the Beatty Brothers contractors, Versi, Beecham contractors, they're licensed contractors. They were out today. This winter, they were overwhelmed with work. I have their numbers. They're going to begin working on the house really soon. The one that gives me the better bid will do the work on the property. They are aware that the property, I did show them the paperwork that the property is in jeopardy of being demolition, so that they have to immediately begin to work on this property. We have been approved for the reverse mortgage. We're currently working with the Premier Mortgage Company with Perry Denny. He's our agent. He is also aware of the situation with the city. And right now, everybody is aware of the situation. So this is all that I have to bring to the table today, is that I do have the contractors on board with me, and they are aware of what the reverse mortgage is offering me as far as the amount that they're willing to give us as far as the repairs for the property, and as far as they will go is $50,000 for the repairs, and that's about what I can offer today to the council.
You have a written commitment for $50,000?
I can get a written statement from Mr. Denny and bring it in to you guys, to someone tomorrow. If necessary, I can bring it in tomorrow. I did not bring in a written statement from him, no. But I can bring it in tomorrow.
Mr. Spataro?
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I understand where you're coming from. Obviously, with a fire, there's a lot of damage to a home, and it's been sitting open for a year at least. Every time I've gone by, there have been open access to the home. My concern is that, at $50,000, the cost to repair is 4 times the state equalized value of the property, and if you're counting on mortgaging to provide that repair money, I'm concerned that in today's lending environment, if that's realistic.
Well, and also, the council needs to be aware that I did withdraw all my savings prior to this. I withdrew $6,000 and gave it to Mr. Kerry Lawrence, and who was supposed to be a licensed contractor also, and he walked right into City Hall with me, and he began the work and knocked out that big hole in the back, and gave me a receipt and began working on this property, and ran off with all my savings, and had a big dumpster out there, and began this work, and the city stopped him from working on the property because apparently he was not qualified to work on this property. But he walked right into the City Hall with me to begin with.
Well, it's always unfortunate when somebody takes advantage of a person, and you have my sympathy on that. Hopefully you can recover some of that money. I got to go back to the financing issue. According to our records, this is basically what you said back in November when the Housing Board of Appeals voted to demolish. You indicated that you were going to get financing through a reverse mortgage with your mom to pay for the repairs. And here we are, almost 6 months later, and we're still at the same spot you were back in November. I just, I understand that this is your home and you want to get it repaired and so on, but at some point, if the money's not there to do it, the money's not there to do it. And it doesn't serve you to throw good money after bad.
Well, since then, my mom was hospitalized. Basically, they wasn't expecting her to live.
Mm-hmm.
And she was almost on her deathbed, and she was really sick. So we were also looking at a situation where that was a case of she may not have made it either. So that was a point where, we had to also, that was a holdup too. And I can show documentation of that also.
It's not that nobody, I believe you 100%. That's not the issue here. My concern is that this is a heavily damaged home, that the cost of repair far exceeds the value of the property, that you've been working apparently for at least 6 months to try to get financing to pay for that. And, we have an obligation to your neighbors as well to address this dangerous situation. I think our best bet, and quite honestly, I think the best thing for you is if we concur to demolish the home and that you put your efforts into finding a new home.
I believe that some of the work I can do myself.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some experience.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this work I can do myself. I do know how to drywall. I do know how to lay carpeting. I do know how to lay flooring. Some of this work I can do myself. I don't, however, know how to do the plumbing or to do the electrical. That's something that I would have to have a professional do. But as far as the painting goes, some of this stuff I can do myself.
Certainly, but when you have to replace rafters, resheath the roof,
absolutely,
replace some of the framing. This is not a do-it-yourself project.
Absolutely. The major things the contractors will have to cover, and a lot of the stuff I can do myself. And I have 3 teenage sons that are pretty big guys that can help me. I have 4 brothers that can help me. I have several cousins that can help me. I have family members that are willing to help me, that can help me do some of the other things that, that are not so major, that they can help me, that are willing to help me. Because this is a home that my grandmother, I actually learned how to walk in this home, and they're willing to help me save this home. If we can save it, they're willing to help me save this home.
Well, I certainly understand where you're coming from. My mother's family lost a home to fire, and you can't ever replace what is lost when something like that happens. I have to say, though, that looking at the damage here, looking at the financing situation, I'm going to have to concur with the Housing Board of Appeals in this instance. And I think it's really for the benefit of the neighbors. The house needs to come down. It's unsafe.
Commissioner Shepherd?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am totally sorry, but I did get calls from some of the neighbors over there, and they are concerned about the house because the house is being entered by other people, and that's not a good thing. And when I was called about it, I went and I looked at the house, and I thought about, well, it's in a disarray. It was burned. it's going to take a lot to get that house back going. So I would, excuse me, I would suggest to you, I think it would be even better just let it go and build a new home on the property. I think your best bet would be better.
I mean, I would think that you guys are not giving me a fair shake here. If at least give me 30 days to try, at least to try to get the home renovated, to give me a chance. I mean, because I know, I understand that, because the winter, I understand I did have 8 months to try and get it done. But, you know, like I said, during the 8 months' time, my mom did get sick. You know, I had a lot on my plate. You know, my mother got sick, and she nearly died. I had a responsibility to try and take care of her, you know, and I thought that would overrule the house, because I would rather have my mom than to have that house. You know, it was more important to me to be there for her than to have that house at the time. Now that I've gotten her to the point where she's okay, now I can go ahead and try and save that house.
Have you talked to any contractors at all?
Yes, I have, ma'am. I have the contractors' cards here. This contractor was out there today. This contractor is going to come out tomorrow. He's already seen, this contractor, Mr. Versii, has already seen the house. He's a religious man, and he also told me that he would be willing to work fairly with me. And he understands that what the mortgage company is willing to give me for the mortgage, and he sees exactly what the damage is to the house, and he knows what the material is going to cost.
And he's willing to pull the permits?
Yes. And both of these guys are licensed.
Well, you know, that's something to be seen. Well, in the past, and we've always tried to be fair with everybody who comes up before us, in the past, I think we have about a 21-day leave. Is that right? 21 days? Within 21 days, if you can show us some progress, that's it. Other than that, it's over.
No, you file a complaint within 21 days.
Right. Pardon me?
You have to file an appeal within 21 days.
Oh, can file, that's right. Can file a complaint within 21 days.
File a complaint. I don't understand. If we get a permit.
If the commission concurs with the Housing Board of Appeals to demolish, then you have 21 days to appeal that in circuit court. File a complaint.
Okay, I have 21 days to file an appeal for the demolition.
Correct.
Right.
But
So
she also would have
these
to put up-
guys, what are they, what do I tip, I don't understand. Because this, I have never owned, this is my first ownership of a property.
Good. No. Okay. She would also have to put up $5,000.
So
That
I would
is
have
our
to come up with
policy.
$5,000.
You have to put up $5,000 during that 21 days when you make your,
Appeal.
that's right.
So in other words, I got to put up $5,000.
Right, and if you, within the 21 days, if you file your claim, and your claim is won on your side, you get your $5,000 back. If not, we use the $5,000 to demolish. That's the policy that I've been dealing with for years, and that's the way it is. You still don't understand that? Well, maybe somebody else can explain it.
She needs...
I clearly understand.
I don't think she understands
I understand it clearly. I have no money, but yet and still, you want me to give you $5,000 so I can't get my home repaired, and so you just want to tear it down and don't give me a chance to repair it. Simple.
Right.
I get it.
Mr. Mayor, I think the facts of the case are pretty
I get
clear.
it.
And, you know, we're all very
So
sympathetic
basically-
to her situation, but I think it's time to call the question.
I basically got it. I'm not getting my home repaired, you're gonna tear it down. Short, sweet. I got it.
Any other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor
I get the
Warrington?
$5,000, I'll sell my car, I'll bring it down here to you.
Yes.
Commissioner Wieringo?
And I got plenty of gold and diamonds, I'll sell it to
No.
Commissioner Wisniewski?
Yes.
you. I know. I'm gonna
Commissioner
sell all
Carter?
my diamonds and gold, and I'm gonna bring it down here to him. I'm getting my house.
No.
Vice Mayor Gallron?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
No.
Commissioner Spataro?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Is there any other business, Commissioners?
Just one item, Mr. Mayor. Unless anyone here quickly comes up with agenda items, as Chair of the Community Relations Committee, I'm suggesting we cancel next Monday. Hearing no objections, I'm sure the clerk can send out an official notice of cancellation within the next day or two. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any other business?
Well done.
Ms. Williams?
Hello. Nell Williams, 391 Amity Avenue. I'm here in regards to our new governor have put into effect a new law that says that he can take over any city at will, and make decisions and give them, put a manager in place. And the reason why I'm here is because the people of the city of Muskegon vote for their officials, and so therefore, it was a long time getting the right to vote. And to me, that undermines a person's right to vote. Now, when, in 2010, when he was running for governor, none of that was brought up. He didn't run on any of that. And I think when you come up with things like that, I think that the people of the state of Michigan has a right to make those kind of decisions. Now, that has already have been taken care of in Ben Harbor, where the median income is only $10,000, a little over $10,000. St. Joe is like $35,000 plus. And you say, well, what does that have to do with the city of Muskegon? Well, I can't predict the future, but I can predict that my vote should be counted. And I was wondering, when that came into effect, did you guys, does it make any difference whether you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent? Did anyone write the governor's office in regards to this new law? Because as I heard on the news, the only thing that the commissioners of Ben Harbor can do is they can open the meeting, I guess they can pray, and they can end the meeting. And he can, at any time, he can extend it, and he can just cancel Ben Harbor, okay? So therefore, and I was wondering, like City of Muskegon versus Muskegon Heights, like St. Joe versus Ben Harbor, or Detroit, or Muskegon Heights Educational, whatever. And, the vote should be counted. I have a right to vote and make that decision. The people of the City of Muskegon has a right when they go and vote for the commissioners or whoever they vote for has a right to make that decision. No one has a right to come in, governor, newly elected, old, to undermine that decision, because that is your right. And so therefore, I wonder, did any of you write the governor in regards on behalf of the city of Muskegon and your constituents, residents, about this law?
I didn't.
And why is that?
Not concerned about them coming to the city of Muskegon, I guess.
I'm not talking about coming to the city of Muskegon. I'm talking about making a choice to undermine the city of Muskegon residents' right to vote.
Well, I didn't write him. Did you write him?
Did I write him?
No.
No, but I call. I call all the time to my elected officials.
Well, I'm not saying that you don't have a point. You do have a point. But I didn't, you asked the question.
Yeah, I did ask the question.
And I didn't write them, and part of me says it isn't any different than if the person I vote for doesn't win.
Well, to me, it makes a big difference about when I vote for someone, an elected official, and someone comes up and says that okay, it's okay that you voted for it, but I can say, I cancel out your vote. To me, that makes a big difference. Maybe to you it does not, but to me it does. And I'm sure that a lot of other people have shared that experience, as you have both all looked at the news, that it makes a difference about when someone comes along and undermine your right as a citizen in your vote. And so just because it has not occurred doesn't mean that it couldn't occur.
Commissioner Spell.
Thank you. I too have not written the governor. I have spoken to the 3 members of the state legislature who represent Muskegon County on this issue, and certainly the Michigan Municipal League, of which we are a member, has advocated strongly on this issue, particularly on those particular provisions. There are 2 things that I think we should all take away. In the last election, 60% of the registered voters stayed home. That's a vote that counts. When you stay home, that's a vote that counts. So anybody who's unhappy who stayed home in November, look in the mirror, register if you're not, and make sure that you're voting going forward. The second thing is, we've had a lot of issues regarding money tonight. We've had issues regarding community development block grant funding, regarding our revenue sharing funding, and so on. And we've had to make very, very tough decisions as a body over a long period of time now. I still look back at when I was first elected and we had 312 employees, and we're down to about 235 right now. That's almost 100 people. We have been very fiscally prudent in this community, and we have to. As long as that law's on the books, that's what's hanging over everyone in this state's head. And until that's off the books, either through court action, and there's already a number of lawsuits, or because it's repealed politically, we have to live with that reality, and we have to make sure that what's happening to Benton Harbor and other communities around this state does not happen to people in this community. That's our obligation to you. And we're doing our best to meet that obligation.
Well, that's the reason why I'm here, because I didn't hear anything about what the city of Muskegon felt in regards to that vote, okay? That not vote, that new law. So therefore, I'm here to ask you if you did anything about it, okay? And so therefore, I don't have anything to do with the people who decided that they don't go vote. But I'm here as a voter. I've been voting for ever since I was able to vote.
Same
And so therefore, I'm speaking for the people who know that it's really a pleasure to be able to go vote. And a lot of people have sacrificed a lot of things for that right to vote. And so therefore, in the future, if things that's really go against the grain, it will be nice to be able to pick up the Chronicle or something and seeing that that was addressed, And the only way that I can find that out was to come down here. I ran into Commissioner Shepard at Myers, and I told her that I would be down here today in regards to this. See, had I read about it in the paper, because I still get the Chronicle, I would have read about it. I even called Chronicles on their articles in the editorial page. So therefore, I just think that we should be more involved in things that happens that affect our daily lives. And to me, that affects my daily life because I'm a voter and other people are voters, and maybe they don't, come down here to talk to you guys, but every so often I do come down here to talk to you guys. And I would appreciate it that, maybe you put a little, editorial page in regards to something else that our governor might come up with. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would care to address the commission? Mr. Carter.
Seeing no one, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good job, Mr. Carter.